So I've already started, but we're making Nando's, like homemade Nando's. And if you know, for a while I don't like spice, so we've gone for Nando's peri peri lemon and herb extra mild. The chicken has already gone in the oven because the chicken takes 35 minutes to cook, and it's already been in for 11 minutes, so that needs another 20ish minutes. And we're going to prep and make everything else whilst the chicken is cooking, because we're doing chips, garlic bread, we're doing my normal Nando's order really. So I've already started preparing the chips, just to speed it up a bit. And we've got some lettuce and tomatoes, and we've got the actual Nando's burger bats, which are the ciabatta rolls, not just the normal white bread rolls. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe, and we're going to crack on. I'm going to put you a bit more like that so you can see more. So I've started preparing the chips. Now all you have to do is, depending on how, I would say a potato per person, depending on the size. So a good potato that size is one per person. Now you need to peel it first of all, and then I'll show you how you make it these shape. And Nando's chips are actually quite chunky, so we're doing chunky chips. Now you need to fill your pan half with oil, so halfway up with oil, and then once it's hot, when it's hot you put the chips in. You don't put the chips in until the oil's hot, because otherwise it just soaks up the oil. So once the oil's hot, it's good. You don't put the chips in before the oil is hot, because you just soak up the oil and it won't cook. For some reason there's no lid on that. So we'll get the oil in. Like so. You need half, I would say 10 minutes, I don't really know how long. Don't really know how long it's going to take, but I don't know if I've got any more, so that'll have to do. And basically you want to get it hot. Now, to make the chip shapes, basically peel your potato, then you want to get your offcuts. So you want to square off the potato, like so. Then you want to chop your potato in half. That's a rather big potato. Then you want to half it again. So basically each half you want in a quarter. So each half you want in a quarter. And then you're just going to cut them each quarter into 2 or 3, depending on the size of your potato. Now I'm doing 3 potatoes for 3 people, but it's up to you. And then you want to get your oil nice and hot. And you can either bring them out with a slotted spoon, which is a spoon with holes, or you can drain them with a colander. Your offcuts you don't need. And you basically do the same with all your potato. You can't let your oil get too hot though. So you want to get each half into a quarter. Nando's chips are chunky. If we're doing McDonald's, I think they're quite skinny, aren't they? I don't know, I don't really have McDonald's, but these are chunky. You can always finish them off in the oven after if you want. Get them like crispy. Get them nice and crispy, you can put them in the oven after, which we may do depending on how these come out, just to get them finished. And what you do is to check, you put one in, obviously it's not done, so you leave that in until it starts like fizzing, boiling. You're boiling oil, in a sense. The chicken is doing well. It's now been in 15 minutes, so we're going to keep up the chicken. Ideally, actually, you know what? I might charge you whilst you're recording, because I'm scared you're going to die. And there is technically a plug. So let me do that. You may or may not move whilst I charge you. We don't need the kettle in this, so the kettle can come out. You are moving for about 30 seconds. Don't know whether that did not work clearly, but we'll try again. The oil's now hot, so you want to get all of them in now, but be careful. Don't know whether this pan is big enough actually. You want to get it on a lower heat as well. We might have to do batch cooking because they're not all going to fit. So all the offcuts are going to go in the bin. Actually, I'm going to get a slotted spoon. I'm going to get a slotted spoon. But we are going to have to batch cook these because the pan's not big enough. And I don't have any more oil to move into big. If I had more oil, I could have moved it into a bigger pan. But I don't. They're going to go in there like so. We're going to put the rest of the chips to the side. And now we're going to do the garlic bread, because the garlic bread is the bit that is the next longest part. Oh, actually I need oil for that. Well, we'll have to make do with the little oil we have for these. Just getting a tray. I don't know whether you can actually see that tray, but that's the tray the garlic bread's going to go on. So for this, I'm going to get a bowl for the chips, so I can use the chopping board. They're more like wedges because Nando have chunky chips. They're more like wedges we're doing. I might get another bowl for them. I'm going to put them in there for around 10 minutes and then we're going to bake them in the oven after. So, we're going to need, we're moving burger stuff until later, because we're not onto that yet. So, actually you might as well squeeze it, more the merrier, because the more the better really. You're going to need a bread knife, and you're going to be chopping this bread horizontally, no, diagonal, well, on a slant. And we've got a white batten, a French classic, baked for a soft inside and golden crust. So I got a mini loaf, because there are double the sizes, but we're not going to need it all anyway. So you're going to cut the end off straight, and then you're going to go maybe you're not going to go diagonal. And you're going to cut it straight. I've gone with straight. And you can do it as chunky as you like. And then your two ends just go in the bin or whatever you want to do with them. You actually could share a tray with the chips. So for this, actually we might need this bowl actually. I'm going to put the rubbish in the bin as well. You need butter, but now you do need a garlic, but I didn't get any garlic. So what you need is 2 tablespoons, just depending how much bread you've got. But you've got 2 tablespoons of butter, not like massive spoons. And then what you're going to do is I'm going to quickly get the butter off my hands. Do my hands. I would say at this point you're on the halfway point. Around about the halfway point. Now we're going to get some parsley. You can use fresh. Fresh goes off really quickly, so I just got some dry. But it does go off quite quick. So if you are using fresh parsley, it will go off in like, once you've opened it, you've got about 3 days to use the rest of it. Basically. If I could open this, it'd be great. Actually, yeah. I can't even open it. I'm going to have to get a cloth to open it. For some reason, when stuff is brand new, you can never open it. You know what, I'll be back in a minute when I actually get this open. 2 minutes later when it's done. So you want a light sprinkle in your parsley. You need some tough muscle. I'm going to calm this chips down. And now we need some olive oil in it, but I have not really got any left. And then you're going to give it a mix up, and then you're going to spread it onto the garlic bread. My hands are, oh, look at that, the soreness in my hands. Anyway, so you're going to give the mixture, if you've got garlic, put 2 cloves of garlic in it as well. You want it more pasty like. It should be, because you've got the olive oil in, it should be not thick, it should be on the watery side. Obviously you've got that olive oil in it. You can either spread it with the back of the spoon or get a knife. That's roughly what it should look like. Can you see that? So now I'm going to put it, a dollop, I'm going to put a little dollop on each one. And then pop it onto the tray, which you can't see. But I'm not going to do too much because I don't want to run out. But you can always make more because it is quite easy to make. That's if you don't run out of ingredients like me. You put a little dollop on and then spread it with the back of the spoon. And then you have some garlic bread. It's not really homemade if you buy homemade chips and garlic bread and all that. The whole point is you make it. Not quite made enough, but we'll make it spread. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but there's like a couple of smaller pieces. garlic bread without. Now what I'm going to do is, if I have a garlic, that is. I'm not sure I've got garlic. Oh, I found garlic. I've got a garlic. So what I'm going to do is, I didn't actually. I'm not always convinced I had a garlic, but it's garlic bread, so you have to have garlic. I'm gonna, if I can open this garlic, we'll get somewhere. So let me just top the top off. Don't do it with a bread knife. I'm gonna just unravel one. Just unravel one. I've got to make garlic bread to have some garlic. Now, you can't really see, but down below here I'm going to grate the garlic on top of the pieces of garlic bread. But then if it actually comes out, we might get some more. Garlic does stain your hands for a while, I'm afraid. It's not really coming out. It's quite sticky garlic bread, like garlic. It's not coming out. So you do it. With a little bit of garlic on there, but it's not really come out. It's all stuck. It's all stuck to the grater that I use. That's going to go in with the chips. So I need to move these up a bit. Definitely garlic in there. God, that's strong. Chips are no means done. Actually, they could probably do a bit longer in there, actually. So I'm actually, well, I say that, but we don't have time to leave them any longer. So the chicken's got 10 minutes and all this stuff needs 10 minutes. So I'm going to drain. Careful when putting hot stuff in the sink. And then we're going to put them on the other side of this tray. And they're already covered in oil. And they're like par cooked. So if we get the oven gloves, these are going to go in underneath the chicken, and we'll check the chicken. The chicken looks rather good. One of the pieces fell over. So that's that. So we're getting there. We're getting there. My hands are going to stink of garlic now for 2 days. That always happens. So move all this stuff to the side. And now we're going to prepare this. Now I'm doing 3, so it's completely up to you how many you do. So I got to do that bread knife back, but I got rid of it. I cut garlic with it. So Nando doesn't do the normal like baps, they do ciabatta rolls. So I need 3 of these, and I'm going to butter each one, and then the 4th one will go in the bread bin for a sandwich, I guess, or whatever else you decide you want to do with your bread. So the first thing we're going to do is, if I can actually cut it in half. And you want to do it all, sometimes you don't want to do it all the way through, sometimes you do. You want to do it a bit more evenly than that. But I've got 2 more attempts to get it slightly more even. And I'm going to be buttering all 3. The chopping board isn't actually big enough, but I'm not doing 2 chopping boards for the sake of this. So now we're going to butter I'm actually going to get my mini chopping board. I'm going to need it to slice some tomato. Oh, I can smell it. It smells quite good in that oven, if you could smell it too. It smells pretty good. So we're going to butter, and you're going to butter both halves, because why not? Don't know whether they par grill their bread, but we're not. Whether they toast half the bread. But we are not, because I only have 2 shells in my oven. And it's not on grill mode, it's on oven mode, so. Bread is buttered. Now with a different knife, or the knife you use for the potato, or anything really, the lettuce is already like cut up, so I bought iceberg lettuce rather than actual lettuce. You might only need 1 tomato, but tomatoes will get used up. So you don't chop your tomato in half, you do this. You take the end off, and then you get a slice of tomato. I don't think the tomatoes are actually big enough. So each one's going to get 2 pieces. Because it should have got bigger. I wanted a big piece of tomato in the middle. Now I think of it. The tomato's not that big. Everyone likes tomato, so that is. Broke that piece, I'm going to have to chop another one off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get your lettuce. You're going to get like a handful of lettuce, and you're just going to put it on top and squash it down. Or you could do it the other way around if you really wanted to. Lettuce on first, then tomato, but now I think of it, I've done it wrong. So bottom, And you can save the rest of this lettuce for sandwich, non-sandwich, and then you're going to put your chicken on the top and then you're done. And the chicken is done in about 3 minutes, but we need to get some sauce and then get it back in for like a couple of minutes to keep that warm through the sauce. Warm through the sauce, that's thing. Chicken's doing a mild job in that oven. So we're going to open up the sauce for the peppers. Clearly, I can't do it myself. Anything new is impossible to open, as we discovered with that party earlier. But I've done it. That cloth is actually filthy. And so we're going to just drizzle the sauce all over the top. And then we're going to get a knife. I'm not actually really using this knife for anything. We're going to just mix it across, mix it over, get it over the chicken, and it's going to go in for 2 minutes, maybe 5, just to get that. Also, we have to chop it in half to make sure it's cooked before we. A bit more on there to cover it. And then that's going to go back in. The garlic bread's doing amazing. Chips don't really look much different. And you can have your own condiments. Actually, I'm going to swap the trays around because I need that. I need them chips to do some things. Now we have a bit of a mess, so I'm going to get rid of your salad. Put your sauce away if you're done with that. Maybe your leftovers. A bit full. And technically you can pair. I'm only going to plate one up right now, but you can prepare. So this is like plate up time. So how long have we been on? So the chicken should be cooked. We're just waiting on a few chips. So you can put your base on with your lid ready for that chicken. Now we're going to get the chicken out and cut it in half and to check the chicken. We're going to check that the chicken is cooked. So I'm going to just cut a tiny bit off the end of my chicken. It is white, bright white inside, which means it's cooked. So I'm going to get it. I'm going to open my back up. And the chicken is simply, that's bit can go on top. It's now taste test time, I guess. So we've got a little bit of chicken that cut off to check if it was cooked on here. So I'll get a little bit of this chicken and try it. That is actually quite hot. Jeez. Now it's time to try a chip. These are very nice chips. There's not that many of them, but you don't really need them, I guess. Now I'm going to try a bit of garlic bread. I'm going to have this little one here. Just going to break a bit off. That is an 8 out of 10. It does look pretty good as well. Then we've got the actual bap and we've got garlic bread and chips. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you so very, very soon. And yeah, I'll leave down all the ingredients stuff I used. And yeah, I'll see you so very, very soon.